From Neural Newscast, this is Model Behavior, AI-focused news and analysis on the models shaping our world.
I'm Nina Park. Welcome to Model Behavior. Today is May 15th, 2026, and we are looking at the increasingly complex design space of AI autonomy. Specifically, we are examining the sophisticated permission architecture used by Claude and how it shapes the way developers build agentic systems.
And I'm Thatcher Collins. Here at Model Behavior, we focus on how these large-scale AI systems are actually built, deployed, and managed within professional environments. Understanding the mechanics behind a model's autonomy is no longer just a theoretical exercise. It is a fundamental requirement for anyone designing reliable software in this current landscape.
This discussion is timely because a new report from the AI Transfer Lab released this morning frames autonomy not as a simple binary switch, but as a nuanced dial. Many builders treat autonomy as if a model is either supervised or it isn't. But this analysis shows Claude can inhabit 7 distinct operating modes. This spectrum ranges from being fully corrigible, following instructions with extreme literalism, to more autonomous behaviors, though Anthropic intentionally keeps the default closer to the corrigible end for now.
That is a necessary distinction, Nina. The binary framing often leads to what we call quiet failures. These occur when a system works in a demo but breaks in production because the trust levels weren't accurately mapped out. The report notes that when a system prompt is missing, Claude actually defaults to a relaxed posture. It infers it's talking to a developer, but in a production environment, that lack of specificity usually results in unexpected behaviors.
Exactly. The analysis details how underspecified or ambiguous prompts do not actually result in neutral behavior. Instead, Claude interprets that ambiguity through a lens of extreme caution, which can make it less helpful. To get specific results, builders have to move that dial. This includes operator-constrained modes, where the prompt narrows the scope, and operator-expanded modes, where certain safety defaults are carefully unlocked, like a medical platform providing explicit safety information that might otherwise be filtered.
The most practical takeaway for builders is how the framework handles autonomous agents. The report identifies 2 specific agentic modes: agentic with checkpoints and agentic with minimal interruption. Nina, the report strongly recommends the checkpoint mode as the default for pipelines. It forces the model to pause at ambiguous or high-stakes decision points. If you skip those checkpoints to gain speed, you are essentially betting that the model's judgment is already flawless.
That leads directly into the 7th mode, which involves tool-augmented trust inheritance. This is critical for anyone using the Model Context Protocol or multi-agent setups. When Claude receives an instruction, its level of trust depends entirely on the pathway that instruction took to get there. It does not automatically trust a message just because it comes from another Claude model. The architecture requires rigorous verification of the origin of the instruction.
That is where the friction lies for developers, Nina. If a Claude agent reads an external document and passes those instructions to a downstream model without verification, you have created a massive injection vector. The report is very clear that assumed trust is the primary way these systems break. You need explicit trust signals at the system prompt level, or the model won't know the difference between a legitimate command and a prompt injection attack.
That reinforces the central theme of the report. The dial is a design decision. Builders shouldn't just be asking how to get the model to do more. They need to identify which of those 7 specific modes a task requires. Getting that calibration wrong is what separates a reliable system from one that requires constant human intervention because it is being too cautious or too reckless with its permissions.
Thank you for listening to Model Behavior. You can find more details on these 7 modes and the full report at mb.neuralnewscast.com. Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com.
This has been Model Behavior on Neural Newscast, examining the systems behind the story